G'day, welcome to Supercoach 360. How you doing? It's your boy Juzzy J. We're in the coach's box again. Talk all things Supercoach from round 12 and round 13. The dreaded bye round is finally upon us. Here we are. What will we do? How'd you go last week, boys?
Average. Only got a 12.45. So I lost spots with that actually. Took me down to 10,000. So
not often you lose positions with a 12.45.
Nah, look, and at the start of the week I was tracking nicely, you know. And then it sort of just by the end of the weekend, not owning the turbos of the world and stuff like that just took its toll on the team. So we still live on to fight another week. We didn't drop too far, you know what I mean? We're still 10,000, which isn't bad. It's if you really look at the points wise, I'm not out of contention if you're looking at it that way. Like, I'm more of a head-to-head player anyway, but
It is still a tight ship.
looking at the leader, it changes weekly. Whilst I was looking at the leader, though, I did notice we have two dedicated listeners inside the top 50, so hang in there, fellas.
Yeah.
I won't jinx you, because every year we seem to, well, a couple of years ago we were getting on people that were doing well and were cruel in their season, so I will wait till you screw yourselves before I get you on and ask you about how good it was going well.
So what about you, Louis? How'd you do?
I got a 13.25.
Decent score.
Decent score, and that was with Schuster and Taruva sitting on my bench without a reserve.
Brutal.
Which was painful watching them get that score on Crocus sitting on a 32.
To be honest, though, like, would you ever have played Schuster?
God, no.
After you said you had a feeling, but in a perfect world, like watching his couple of opening games, you really wouldn't have played him unless you had to.
I mean, there's no way I think any of us would have seen that turnaround from Manly, considering the way they've played as of recently. As you said, especially Schuster. I mean, he's pumped out some pretty low scores, you know, this season. So
he did go into like boot camp with Spud Carroll, but so that was obviously life-changing experience.
Spud bashed the scores back into him.
Well, he's a hard man, old Spud. So you can imagine there would have been some big chats, if you know what I mean. Like just some soul searching stuff. Like at the end of the day, dude, you can do that or go swing a hammer and throw a brick or whatever you want to do. Like
and from
play footy.
And from what I've heard, that's exactly what Schuster needed. He needed that guidance. Someone as strong as Spud to, you know, grab him by the scruff of the ear and pull him into line.
Well, if you ever grew up watching footy or the footy shows or anything like that, if you've ever watched Origin highlights, bang, who's in there? Spud. If you ever watch some of the hardest things in rugby league, Spud's definitely in amongst it, or he gets a mention from hard players across the board from the last 20, 30 years. So would have been an eye-opening experience for the bloke, I reckon.
Definitely.
To be brutal. And he showed it on the weekend. He's potentially good. You know? So, yeah. How'd you go, champion?
Let's talk about the real one we should be talking about. I was
trying to keep it away for a bit because far out. But no, get it out, bro. Like,
I had a blinder.
Whip it out, big fella.
Had a blinder. 32nd for the round overall, so can't complain. 80 points off the money.
Don't even worry about the money. Like, what did it do for your...
Bro, 13,000 spots just went from 18,000 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, bang, up there. Just brought my season back. And that was 300 points. I'm now 900 points off the leader.
Has that changed your coaching mindset? Like, let's look at it, like, two weeks ago when you were 23,000th, were you a happy coach? Were you enjoying your super coach?
I was over it.
You know the deal. But here we are 2 weeks later, heavily invested again, champ.
100%. We are back to play. But that's crazy, right? 1 week. 1 week can just change it completely. All of a sudden, that's it. I'm back in the game. Like I said, I've already checked to see how many points it takes me to get up to the leader now. 1,200 seems insurmountable. You make 300 in a week, well, that's only 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Completely different mindset. But the thing is, man, Origin. Origin's here. Origin players stepped up. And this is the thing that happens around this time of year. these players come back and they are freaks.
Not just Origin players stepped up. Some Origin players didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Some of them play this weekend. Will be a bit scorned, I feel.
KP, Cook, let's just call him.
Gags as
Gags,
well.
yeah.
He's another
Campbell
one.
Graham.
Well, Campbell
Graham pulled himself out. All right, thanks, Louis. Good thing you brought this up. Campbell Graham shouldn't play for South. If you don't have enough respect for the Blues to go be 18th man, you can't pull out and then play for your club. And if you are, I'm just going to call it out. Ricky and the Raiders are straight up either paying players not to go or for some reason have convinced them not to go. White has already said that he might come back. And I think Papali'i said he's not necessarily 100% retired from Origin yet.
This is.
I think this is a Canberra trick.
It might be a Canberra trick, whatever. But look, Origin's the thing. If the Blues doctors, I'm pretty sure, said Campbell Graham wasn't right to train with the Blues squad without injections and stuff like that.
Yeah, he would have missed the first couple of days of training. And apparently with that, they swapped the 18th man to Crichton over Graham.
I heard he wasn't going to play. He wasn't able to do the training. And then he was going to get... he was pretty much only going to be available for the game.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So then, if that's the case, and then all of a sudden you can go back and play for your club, that's funny buggers.
Well, you can, because...
I can understand the rules that you can, but I'm not saying...
There's a different set of doctors, though. Like, Freddie and his team of doctors are at the top of like we've talked about in the past and today. It's the elite part of the game. It's bigger than a grand final. You know, they have a total different set of doctors to the South doctors. The South doctors would probably say, doesn't need to train all week, can play needled up. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool with Souths. That's cool with Souths. That's cool with Campbell Graham. Everyone's happy. Freddie and the boys aren't happy with that. Freddie and his doctors and his team aren't happy with someone who can't do that. So hence why he got omitted. Like, it's totally different. Like, he didn't dog anyone in my view. He couldn't do the job that was required to do for the Blues, according to their doctors and coaching staff. But according to South's, because he's been playing needled up for a few weeks, from what I know,
it's about 3 or 4 weeks.
It's not a fresh injury. So he hasn't trained for 4 weeks, like contact and stuff. He just gets needled up and plays on the day. That's from what my understanding is with Campbell Graham at South. So you can't have a bloke that's just playing needled up at that level. It's too hard, too fast. It's just too much.
It's another beast.
Whereas you can sort of get hidden at club level. You know, you can sort of, if someone sees a weakness at Origin, you're fucked. Sorry, dude, but they're going to eat you up all day. And it's just something, if you're already the 18th man and you're coming in underdone, you're no good to anyone. You know, you're one knock away from being another dude sitting on the bench for no reason.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, if he could come out and turn up for Souths this week, you know, easily come out and turn up for Souths this week, because he knows their system, structures and players. Like, he would have had a whole pre-season doing what he's doing, you know, whereas at Blues level, they got 10 days, you know. So, anyway. But yeah, any other omissions that you use? I was under the impression Corey Horsburgh, especially once Papali didn't get... Papali stood down. I was definitely expecting Corey Horsburgh to get pulled into the Queensland side, but he didn't. Anyone else, there's a bit of... I think the Parramatta forwards didn't get a crack either, did they? Paulo get a run?
Yeah, Paulo's in. He's on the bench.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Dan Gagai from Queensland.
And KP.
And KP, yeah.
Well, I understand the KP one. Like, I know we had this discussion with Con a bit last week, but KP for me, he's a head knock away from not doing much anyway.
And you can't deny Reece Walsh is in some form right now. I think... Sorry,
you know what? Like, go, finish.
I was just going to say, I think it was probably the right decision going Walsh over KP, to be honest. In my opinion, anyway.
Walsh scares me, bro. Did you see what he did against the Panthers? Like, they had a chance to win that game, and it was all off the back of Walsh.
And you know what? You need your players to really put their body on the lines defensively. And I'm sorry, but Ponga, since he's come back, at times look very apprehensive when tackling your bigger players.
I think it's because he's been waiting to get his Origin jersey, right, to put in the big game, and yeah, he didn't get it. But for me, Walsh, this is the thing with Origin and debutants. Like, it takes a special, very special. I'm not saying Reece Walsh isn't special enough to do it, but it takes a special dude to just take Origin in your stride. You know, like, it's a very fast, intense, hectic game, and a lot of people find it hard to find, especially first, second, third games. It's hard to find your injection point into the game. Like, it's just because of how fast it is, and everyone wants the ball, you know, and it's up to you to be the overriding call. And I think that's why he did get the likes of Cobbo and stuff as well in his side, because he'll be able to override Cobbo, but he'll probably worry about overriding a Val Holmes or something like that, you know, or trying to override a Munster. Or that's the thing you got to get over at Origin. Like, if you're there, you got to override if you feel it's your job. But I don't know, we'll see on the day, I guess. I hope it's too much for him, personally. But Tommy did also prove me wrong the other year. I thought he was going to have a bit of a rough trot, and he come out and smashed it, man. Like,
That's it. Origin's a different beast. The people that want to play it pretty hard. You know what I mean? It's all about what Queensland means to them, what New South Wales means to them, and the games that they've grown up watching, things like that. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm just super excited for it. It's so close now. You know, a week away.
10 more sleeps, lads.
Speaking of, probably no podcast next week. Otherwise, it'll be out on a Tuesday, because what do you think about that when we start this season?
No. Tuesday, probably. If it's a free Tuesday.
Definitely not. But
You're
anyway,
right.
we'll talk about that another time.
Yep. We could even maybe just wing one on a Monday. We'll work something out. Anyway, you might get a Zoom chat. Okay, where to go for Origin now? I know Juzzy's not too keen on this, but I'm doing it anyway. Where to go for Origin now? These dudes are all playing Origin, and they are very highly owned in their positions. Like, I got Payne Haas 50% owned, D-Fee 31%, Harry Grant 44%, Nico Hines 50%, Munster's only 19%, Val Holmes 31%, and Reece Walsh 29%. Now, at least one or two of these probably have to go for you to be competitive over the next couple of rounds. And I just want to know for you which ones it is. Like, not everyone has to go this way. Like, there'll be different ways for everyone to go. Like, some people might be solid already in second row, so they might want to look at ditching fullbacks and centre wings and a hooker, you know. But I've got some players that are just yes or no for you. Now, for Haas's replacement, AFB.
That's pretty solid.
Got a solid. He's been scoring tries, so don't expect him to maintain scoring tries every week. So he's due to cob a price rise, but of the front row is still high, solid PPMM base every week anyway. So he's pretty much, it is sideways, but if you want that number for the next few rounds, and he is a good way to go. Then a sneaky one I've got is Paseka from Manly. I've been chatting with a couple of people over the last few weeks, and Paseka just does his job, and he's gotten better and better as it's progressed. He's priced at what he's averaged, 55 or whatever, but does get the odd attack and starting to offload as well as the year's going on, so he could be a good sneaky just to bring in, and he's a bit of a pod
Definitely
compared to
lowly owned.
AFB and Tarpany's the other one. Like, I know Con said last week he's not doing much, but front row is a bit of a wasteland other than Haas and AFB anyway, you know. So, or I've got Jack DeBell and he's a jewel, but I got him in the second row. So we'll move on to the second row. D-Fee, if you're ballsy enough to sell him, me personally, no way.
No.
He can score. He can turn up in 50 minutes. Doesn't need to play the 80. I feel if he knows he's only playing 50, he hopefully puts in those extra efforts as well. For me, I would never sell him, but if you have to sell him, then I'd probably go to the likes of Tohu Harris over there. Chugs along, does his work. He is priced a little bit under because he had a few injuries. But he's
still about the same price as Horse, bro. 600, like pretty much on the dot.
And Horse is in that list. And I got Jack DeBellin if you've got the nous. he's got the captaincy this week. He is a dual, so you can also get him in the front row. But I got on Jackie last week. Looks the goods over there. He's pretty much all they got. Blake Laurie got hurt, broke his hand, and someone else got hurt too last week. So a bit more for Jack to do this week. Any of them, and Hopgood if you haven't got. I feel even though he's got the bye 14, he's solid as a rock. Like, especially with Maddo going down and no RCG and Paulo off at Origin. It just makes you want him more and more every time I say another dude's out. And it just, so any of them tickle your fancy, or you got a different one, or you just never sell DFE?
Yeah, probably wouldn't sell DFE. I'm not thinking of selling Haas either, to be honest.
No, neither am I. I'm just saying if that's the way you had to go. Like,
Yeah, but, I mean, Tohu, Hopgood, AFB, who else is on that list?
Horsebrough, Jack DeBellin.
Yeah, there you go. I can't. That's the thing. I can't fault you with any of them really.
Yeah.
They're all blokes that I've been looking at. Paseka's one of the pods. Remember last week we got a question about 5% podders.
Off Chris. Oh yeah. You got any of them?
Pardon? Yeah. Well, so I had a look earlier, and I've got a few, but yeah, Paseka I noticed was one of the few in the forwards that you could actually consider. Yeah. Well, I think the horse is actually still fairly lowly owned too.
Yeah. He is.
Well, the Paseka's at 2%. DeBellin's only at 6.
Yeah.
And Horsburgh is at 9.
Yeah.
So still not that highly owned.
All pod. Pod's under 10. Like considered under 10 by the coach's law or whatever.
Maybe the ones that I'm looking at getting on, this week or over this period.
Well, they're the ones that can get you them points that no one else is getting. Like you said, 2% own and rah-rah. Like, at 2% own out of the whole game, that's very low. And some of them you'd have to think would be ghosties from the start of the year even, So, yeah, I just like a lot of them. And then I got Harry Grant. Now, this is a good talking point all over social media at the moment. If you're sacking Harry, where are you going? Cook's going to be a man scorned.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
As a Souths man, you'll know, how pissed is he going to be? And
I'm expecting a big score this weekend. Definitely.
You feel for the bloke too. Like he was an incumbent, But yeah, I think it's a big ask to get 80 minutes out of Harpy Coruscant. He hasn't played 80 minutes for a long time.
Well, not only. I think he's played 80 minutes. I looked before. He's played 80 minutes. I think twice this season. Once was last week against the Cowboys, and once was.
Queensland are not the Cowboys, all right? Let's just stipulate it is the North Queensland Cowboys.
This is the exact point I was about to make. This game is going to be so much faster paced than what he's been played recently whenever he's played 80, or even in NRL in general.
I have faith. I have faith in him. Like
he's got the games in him, for sure.
Definitely.
Let's be real. Look at the last 10 years of Harpy Coruscant. He won premiership with yous.
Only because Isaac Luke was out with the suspension, though.
Yeah, but did yous win that premiership without them two in that game? Maybe not. Is Isaac Luke as good as Cam McInnes and Harpy Coruscant combined? Maybe at the time. He was very good at the time. But they won that game. They helped yous win that game with their differences, And
definitely.
Coruscant went on to be injured a lot, but every time he got game, his deception has been spoke about for a long time. And it took me a long time to actually spot the deception that he had. Like, I was sort of thinking, what the fuck are they on about? But as years went by, I watched him a bit more, and just the way he conducts himself is very...
the little things he gives away, tries to give away, to the opposition markers and stuff.
Yeah, and for me, Cook has one problem. He's too fast for everyone. Like, you'll find him out in the open just waiting. If he was a dark, he'd be fucked. Because he just gets outgone, and if Cam Murray's not there, then it's all over. It's a shot play, And that, for me, I've seen a few times in the past, and that probably could have brought him undone, but I expect him to go very well over the next few weeks for Souths.
Yeah.
And attempt to get his jersey back. And if you're not going to go with Cook, where are you going to go, Jeremy Marshall-King or?
Oh, I would have said Jeremy Marshall-King.
That's
I
the
think
only
he's the
other
second
way.
highest average hooker, I'm pretty sure.
Why not both?
Well, you could if that was the way you're inclined. You'd be picking up decent points.
Well, I mean, I have to admit, one of the trades I was thinking about this week was going Jaden Sullivan to Cook. So then I have Marshall-King and Cook as my two hookers.
I'm upgrading Brandon Smith to him.
I'd be getting rid of that Sullivan as quick as I could too.
Yeah, definitely.
Then Nico Hines made the list just because, look, Naif's Naif, but they got the way better draw compared to Nico over the next month. I think you'll find Nico has got buys and he has got Melbourne and then another buy or something. I'm not sure how it works out, but
He's got Melbourne Broncos and a bye aside from the Origin games.
yeah.
So, yeah.
He doesn't get much footy, but for me, I'm not selling Nico unless if he's only getting 10 minutes of footy. You can assume he's coming out that next week and just blitzing it. You know, that's the scary part about selling a Nico. But for me, I couldn't sell Naif at this point just because they got the better draw, and I feel they'll need Naif more than Sharks will need Nico.
Yeah. See, I've got both, and I'm not selling either. I'll cop an AE if it needs be, but yeah, I won't sell either.
So I'm contemplating moving on Nico. I really am. Just to probably an SJ or a Mitch Moses. I haven't got the Nias to go, Ray? Just because, but I don't know. Mitch Moses, he goes on them runs, man, and I've been on a Mitch Moses when he goes on them runs in the past, and he's looking like he's ready to go on a bit of a run. You know, they've got a semi-decent draw. I know they play all the week afters buys, I'm pretty sure, like all them the 3-team buy weeks, or close to that. So that's one thing, but you should have your Naif back by then as well. So I don't know. It's a massive play to get rid of a Nico or a Naif, especially the way they score. Like, would you contemplate or?
No, not really. I'm possibly considering moving on Nico just because of the lack of game time. But I'm sort of thinking I'm going to look at Origin 1 and sort of figure out how he's actually utilised before I make that decision. But also, I want to keep as many Origin players as I can. Origin players come back, you know, just freaks, man. And a whole different mindset for the rest of the season. So, yeah, my goal is to hold on to as many of them as possible because that's it. They come back and prove that they can do amazing shit in Clubland in 50 minutes. And you can see that from backs, you can see that from forwards, you can see that from spine positions, you can see that all over the joint, that they're the best of the best and they're there for a reason. Ultimately, they're the goals. A lot of those blokes are the ones you want to run home with. Yeah. The trick is now, during this period, where can you make that ground points-wise? Like, I held on to Teddy and Turbo. I had Cleary sitting there, like, and Deefy.
Now your drama is you've lost them both again, just as they've come good.
I've lost all of them.
Yeah.
But I proved last week, you know what I mean? Like, you can make up those points week to week if you do have the right players. And I've been guilty of selling them in the past and not realising what sort of monsters they were going to come back like from Origin. Now, you know, let me just completely flip that on its head. And it's a risk. Because Origin's a fast-paced game. It's full of big blokes who are angry. You know what I mean? They really do not like whoever's not wearing the same colours as them. They are out there for blood, mate. So injuries can happen.
If you do look at past and the science of it too, like if your game's on a Thursday, Friday, it's much better for you than playing on the Saturday, Sunday. They say by the Saturday, Sunday, your body's really sore and it's harder to back up. Whereas backing up from Origin on the Thursday night or the Friday night game is a lot easier on the body than it is to back up on the Sunday. So you look at especially forwards, if they have to play a Sunday game, they're going to be up for a challenge. You know, just to maintain a fitness throughout that game because your body's going to be meant to be in deep recovery by day 3, 4, you know?
Yeah.
And there you are, ready to go rip, tear, busted yet. Thanks, peptides. But, yeah, Yeah, anyway, I got Munster. The only place I personally would go, and this is just me, it would be to Brown, just because they haven't lost anyone really to Origin.
Bit of a cash difference there, though, isn't there?
$100,000, I think, but you should be able to make that elsewhere, or you should have a war chest ready for your Origin buys anyway. Like, you should be ready for this. Like, you knew you had to buy some players coming into this. Cody Nikorima is a pod playing fullback this week, so don't know, but he's been going okay up there.
Bennett gets the best out of people, doesn't he?
He has been going okay.
He's been chugging along quite nicely since he came in.
And then, yeah, if you've really got the money, and I don't know how it's going to work without Trell, so that's why I didn't spruik Walker first, because Walker's probably the form. Well, him and Bags are about on par, but they're probably the form 5/8s at the moment.
But you're right. A lot of his plays involve Latrell or AJ.
Take nothing away from Taff, but he's no Trell Mitchell, man. Like, Trell's a big unit. And he just commands two dudes straight away, whereas old mate's not commanding that sort of attention to free up Cody's and free up the AJs as much, you know. They still manage to find the line for AJ. They have a knack for opening up that left-hand side, but yeah, for me, at his price, he's a worry, because without Trell, it's just, you know, I know Cook's going to do his thing, but he also hasn't got a Cam Murray to feed off. So it's one of them things. Then Val Holmes, he's highly sold. He'll be one of my first to go this week. Just because, they have a bit of a tough run, and I feel you can easily get other people to fill the void. Val hasn't been doing overly fantastic anyway. You can get on the Garricks. If you haven't got Ruben Garrick, I think you're mad. I know he doesn't play next week, but he's just been chugging along nicely over there at Manly. He got an 88 in space and power the other week. So I like what he does there. Zarko, if you've got the money. Now, I've rubbished Zarko 100 times this year, 100 times last year, but he seems to just be putting it up every week. Kicks goals. They seem to be scoring tries too, so if you can do it, do it. Any use jump on a Zarko with your balls up?
Nah. And that's it. He's a bit too expensive for me now.
It's a massive balls gamble. Like, but averaging 75 for the year and 3-round average as well. So
you took the gamble at the start of the year. Good on you.
Yeah. And then I got Chansey. He's still only at 500, so you're going to pocket some of that cash there. If you're going from Val to C and K, you will pocket a little bit of cash, which can help you juice up any one of these other areas. Marju, he's 600 and something. But his base and power is good. But I think a shit week for him is 45, so you can't be unhappy with that. No tries, he still pokes along at 45, which is 20 above most other centre wings who don't score. And then Lemuelu, just a weapon, the juggernaut. They've opened up a space for him in the starting side full time now, so he's one that got away from me. But if I can manage to free up funds this week, I'd love to be able to get him in. I know he has a sort of lowish one in him, but you can get him in the centre wing. You know, that's just second rower in the centre wings, man. It's guaranteed 55 a week or whatever.
Well, look, how about this? You got Lemuelu at 658.
Yeah.
Asako at 680.
Yeah.
And Nick Meaney at 695. Out of those three, which one would you rather get in?
Well, Nick Meaney's not playing. So I'd be definitely Lemuelu for me, just on the safety of the base points.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, Zarko's got the way high ceiling. But Lemuelu's base points, what interests me, especially in a round.
Lemuelu's got the ceiling in him too, though. He's pulled out some big scores.
Not like an
Not
Zarko,
as consistently as Zarko, but he has pulled out some big scores in him too. Like, if teams are shutting down a Zarko, that's going to open up space for a bloke like Lemuelu.
But if you're looking to power up your side because you're not flush already, do you really want to bring in a bloke that can get you 30 rather than a bloke who get you solid 60? you know, and then with the chance he gets a try, gets you 90 odd, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've got Lemuelu over Osako in the centres.
Yeah, I just think the safety, especially at this point when you're looking to make moves. If you're looking to make moves now, this is sort of a round, and the next couple of rounds coming up, where if you do it right, you can make some big moves. Like, because I've noticed a lot of people are on the scramble this week. You know, they're scrambling.
Lemuelu, I'm just looking at his stats now. He's had that big game against Canberra where he scored 120. Then he's only scored in 2 other games this season, and now he scored 76 against Roosters and 79 against Canberra.
That's not bad.
Everything else though, the next highest score he got was 64 against the Knights.
And
everything else was in the 50s.
Yeah, that's all just base and power though.
That would be all bit of space and power.
Yeah. Which for don't get me wrong, is expensive now.
Mm.
But for a centre wing, like, that's where you're playing him. You're not putting him in your second row. Like, you're playing him in your centre wing because that's where you need that solid point. You need an anchor down there. Val was that for me, but he was still getting shit scores. Like, he was getting 30s and that, even with kicking goals. Like, it just, I got lucky I got on Garrick when he bottomed out. And now he'll be sort of that anchor for me, you know, with Marju on the other side. Like, I got them two I still got Charnsey in there, who's needs a try, you know. You need to have those sort of players as well. But, yeah. And then Walsh, 29% owned, playing Origin. I dare say if Kevy's smart, just with the position they're in, they can afford to rest him. I don't see him coming out of Origin and playing 80 minutes for the Broncos every week after Origin, you know. I just see in a world where he's getting rested, he's a young fella, massive workload, and Origin, fucking huge. You know, he's going to be very, very busy at Origin, so to come back and back up for the Broncos would be pretty hard. And I think he's got a decent BE. I didn't check, I'll be honest. Ponga, but would you go to Ponga or would you go to Gufferson? Where would you go with it? Like, Gufferson's on the decline. He's got a high BE and he's 700,000. Ponga's like a strong wind away from a concussion, but
yeah, it's a tough goal.
See, I was considering bringing Ponga in, but into 5'8", not fullback.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Well, look, we know he's a talent, you know?
And he's moved back to fullback positionally.
Is that confirmed? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lockie Miller bench. He's hard done by.
If not New South Wales Cup.
No, he's bench 14.
Yeah, but if Kurt Mann gets brought into the squad, New South Wales Cup.
Yeah, look, Ponga's got the pedigree. We know I think he got his big boy score last year of 160 odd, so he's got him in him. And you think with the Origin snub, and God, you'd think him and Gags would probably have a big week together. But yeah, I don't know. He's a massive risk.
Yeah,
Chris, you know, you brought him in round 2, did you, this year?
Yeah, don't get me
No, I just see that. I just wanted to see that. Oh. See that, Louis? Did you see it?
That look of disappointment.
Just remember that. Just remember that look. Cause
I can't take the risk for that exact reason. He's made it into my team once and he's gone back out. I need to see some proven. I can understand what you're talking about taking the gamble. Juicy price, like 510k or something.
He was 340 2 weeks ago, like spewing. You know, spewing.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can see a perfect world where he gets to 700 pretty quick if he keeps going. Right.
Yeah, especially if him and Gags want to make a statement about getting him into Origin 2. They got 2 weeks, really 1 week to make that statement because they're off in 14. So they got 13 and 15 to make that statement and try and get back in that side. So yeah, I think they're going to come out on fire too.
Yeah, I do too. It's worrying. It's either going to go one or two ways, tons or twos.
Yeah. I think you just came up with a title.
Tons or twos. There we go. Yeah, but yeah, I do worry about him. So what do you got in your under 10% own? Matty Drew and Stewart. Under asked us a question last week about pods.
Pretty sure it wasn't Stuart, but yeah, definitely Matty. Yeah, so some people were asking for pods under 5%, and I went and had a look through.
Oh, no, it was Grant.
Paseka made my list.
Grant
Taniela Paseka from Manly. Possibly even taking the gamble on Sione Fainu over the next 6 weeks, if Jakey's out and he's going to hold down that position.
Well, Jakey and that Tuolangi, I think, got hurt as well.
Yep, and Burbo. So there's a few things going on there at Manly, so there is some minutes on offer. That's why I'm cheering that I've held on to Kepi. It looks like he might have the lock spot.
Yeah.
But then that's a lot of forwards to be taken into next week. So depending on where your team's at, sort of bring them in over the next 2 weeks. Scotty Drinkwater.
Yeah,
Now,
made my list too, Drinky.
Cowboys are about to get a bit of cattle back, so Drinky, this could be his time to shine, especially while Val's not there over Origin. But also Val's good for him scoring-wise as well. They tend to share the love a bit.
Yeah.
So he's definitely one to watch for me. And the recent call-up to the New South Wales Blues squad, speaking of...
Can I just stop you on the Drinky thing?
Yeah.
Drinky might even go that little bit better without Val because there's a bit less pressure to get it to his marquee man. He might use other plays more than just getting it to Val. You know what I mean? So might help Drinky this no Val.
Yeah, see what happens.
Now what you going about Blues?
Yeah, the new call-up to the Blues squad in young Blake Brayley.
Yeah, like him.
He's been a solid hooker for Cronulla all year, and yeah, if you're talking about that hooker halfback combination, well, him and Nico. Question is, what sort of game times Nico actually getting? Where are they going to utilise him? What are their plans? Like, you know, were they maybe thinking about playing Nico at hooker, and now they're thinking about playing Brayley to spell Appy for that period? I don't know what's going on, or if that's their plans for the future. You know, Blake Brayley looks like he could be the future of the Blues hooking spot there.
It's good. You know what? It's a little bit smart. It's a good coaching tactic from Freddie to get their backup halves hooker into camp just to talk about the way they go about business and how they can set up for the way Nico goes about his business. You know what I mean? Because he'd definitely set up different to Nave coming from Mitch Kenny and that. You know what I mean? So it's not a bad tactic getting in your halves and hooker combo because like he can talk to the forwards and they'll set a different sort of platform for the way Nico would play his game to the way Nath would play his, you know.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah, Jack DeBellin I think made that list as well. Fairly low ownership on him. I think it was like 6% or something.
Yeah, 6%.
Trying to think who else was in that sort of 6 to 8%. I think we've already talked about them being some of the back rowers. I didn't see too many more spine players.
Well, Moses Sully was one that got on my list. He makes me list every year, but
yeah, that's it. I can't trust him because he makes a list every year, and
he chugs along at
55.
He's not doing too shit. You know what I mean? And if you're actually watching, if you've watched a few Dragons games, he's definitely found his foot. You know, he's found his feet there at the club. He gets in, he does some good hard runs, and he's just a tackle breaker, man. Like that's what he is. And if he scores a try, you're cheering. So yeah, that's the way I see it. I wouldn't get him in long term till the end, but I could definitely see a world where I have him in till 15, 16 and punt him. Hamali Olakulatu is cheap as well, but he's lost everyone, which could go either way. He could free him up to be a bit more of a ball playing forward or whatever, but he's lost Cherry Evans, who gives him good service, and he's lost Travojevic, who gives everyone everything. He's just a gun. So yeah, and then Gagai I threw on the list just because he's going to be a bit scorned. And if you look, he's chugging along at 700,000 anyway, so he's doing okay. So
Xavier Coates could be in that conversation. He was injured last year, and then you had Corey Oates, who then got injured. What was it, start of this year?
Yeah.
So
I've got SJ on my list too, but that's more of a nostalgia one. I like him. He still should be in the conversation though. He's definitely second tier of the halfbacks on his own. Like A-Ray on his days up there too, but SJ's chugging along good. Now, you got any more on your list? Or ins and outs, the most traded out from my team, according to the app, Harry Grant, Nico Hines. See, that was one that sort of backs up our theory over here. Val Holmes. Katoa from the Dolphins, which is, I know he's shit, but he's a number for this week.
Is he, or has he been cut?
No, he's definitely playing, but he got hooked last week. And then Munster. So the trend is Harry, Nico, and Munster and Val, all Origin. All must be going to, we'll look over to the ins. Cook, he's the most brought in, so you can see where people are going with their Harry money. Nico, he's Ponga. Ponga's obviously been brought in through some jewels. Hopgood's the next one. Azarko and Nicarima. So people are saying the Nicarima thing, but does have a shit floor. Like, could get you 20.
Yeah.
Easily get you 20.
And Tohu as well. He's at 8% brought in this week.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually sitting second.
Well, I've brought him in. I'm one of those. So, yeah. All right. I've got a couple of questions. You've got anything else you want to chat about over there?
You've also on the most traded out this week, Reece Walsh and Reed Money as well.
Ooh, Reed.
Yeah.
I see that though. He's been going okay, but I just see Cook at the moment doing something different. You know, he's going to be pretty upset. You'd have to think.
Yeah. As well as Zach Hosking as well.
Ooh, Zach Hosking traded out. All right, Watto. Brother Watto. Val for Hopgood via Jules, or Val for Asako, or Sullivan and Nicarima can only do one of those moves. I'd be telling you to get rid of Sullivan as quick as you can, but I think Val for Hopgood's pretty juicy.
Yeah, it's one that instantly spoke out to me.
Val for Asako is a big gamble, but Sullivan, I'd love to get Sullivan out of your side, but I think he's already playing this week, so you've already sort of counted for him a couple of weeks ago when you got him in. It's your fault. He's shit. I'm looking at you too, Louis, so you're not alone there, Watto. Don't worry. I'm eyeballing Louis.
Yeah, you're not alone, mate.
But Val for Hopgood for me. Val's not playing. I think they've got to buy 15 or something.
They've got to buy 15, and then they play Storm, I think, 14, and then Panthers and Souths 16, 17.
So, yeah, Val's a solid move along.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Hopgood via Jules is the way for me. Shane Hughes going live tonight, boys. No, we're not. Sorry, Shane, bro. The technician's coming out tomorrow to fix the NBN. So, let's hope he does a good job. Michael Mizzy, who do I bring in? JMK or Cook as a keeper for the rest of the season? Cook's scores haven't been that great, and I can see JMK averaging 5 to 10 points a game more. Grant Willoughby's other hooker.
Yeah, look, JMK, he's statistically the second best hooker in the game at Supercoach-wise at the moment. I do think Cook, over this period, will play harder to try and get back in that New South Wales squad.
Yeah.
But I guess that is that risk that, say Cook comes out, has a blinder, Api Coruscant doesn't do so well, Cook gets recalled, then you're having to, trade him out again.
Yeah.
So probably I'll go Jeremy Marshall-King long term.
I was going to say the same thing. Just because there's no shot of Marshall-King playing any representative football at all. Like, Api Coruscant could get a knock, Cook back next week.
Exactly.
But yeah, for me, Jeremy Marshall-King, he is more expensive. If you didn't stress the point that you said keeper for the rest of the season, I would have said get on Cook for the next month of footy because I think it's going to be good. But yeah, because you stressed the point on rest of the season, I think Marshall-King's your man there. He'll keep you happy all year, I think. Bar injury, of course.
Yeah, I've had him so far I'd probably say about 90% of this season, and he hasn't let me down once.
Yep. You getting involved in that one. All right, Shauno Barrett. Bad planning with only 10 players for this bye round is going to hurt. I reckon after 3 trades, but I'm keeping Grant, Fifi, Cleary and Hines for the run home. Yeah, but that is bad bye planning with only having 10. Best plan for you then, Shauno, is you're going to have to try and wing a fucking Blase as VC or captain, like where no one else is on him and they top score for the round. That's where you're going to have to try to make up some points there. Sorry, champ. Lloyd Clark, Juzzy, the guest speaker segment, bring it home. You know, champ, how was it feeling pumping out 15 fucking thousand or whatever? Like
1562 in the end. Yeah, hectic, man. Like, to be honest, I didn't even believe it. I looked at my score Monday morning, like, 5:45 and getting to work, and met you at the servo beforehand, getting a coffee, and I think I checked my score for the first time. It was up around 1570 or something. I was like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah,
just incredible, man. But look, I'm just trying to leverage it and utilize it. Like, I got a massive jump in points, a massive jump in spots, and all of a sudden, like you said, like, I'm back in contention. I'm back in the game. More importantly, won my head-to-head. Like that. That's mainly been my focus all year too.
Who'd you dominate over there in the head-to-head, actually?
Oh, in the Podmasters. Massive shout-out to Kando.
The Doc. How'd you feel, Doc? You got dominated by the Jazz.
Chins up, buddy. He messaged me straight away. He put it in the chat. He was just like, bro. I was like, mate. Like, that was when my score was like 15-17. And then I woke up the next morning and updated by 60 points. I was like, whoa, what has happened here?
Yeah,
incredible.
It was good on you, man. Like,
all it takes is that 1 week to get right back in it.
What you had 7 tons.
7 tons, and one of them was my captain. And I was considering looping Cleary on the first night, going 125, could be the biggest score we see all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the Origin stars just sort of turned up, and then the Tigers were like, hey, 66. Then Turbo at the end was like, hold my beer, boys, and just 165 out of nowhere.
Well, just a quick, that was a reminder, actually, like on the round, like it was Indigenous round, and it was a good Indigenous round too. Like, if you actually watch the games, all the Indigenous boys stood up and had blinders, like, as they do every year. And I think I say this every year, we need an Indigenous year where we just have like 27 rounds of indigenously inspired football, and we'd be well for it, man, because I don't know if it'd take away from the actual round of footy itself, but they all just tend to turn up, the boys, and it was good to see. Like, someone said something about, the South didn't win, but if you actually look back, they all had blinders, man. You can't win every game you play. It's part of footy. And you can have a blinder and still lose. That's another part of footy. Like, I've watched it heaps. And, I thought it was a great round.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, if you actually watch some of it, I think most of the matches and that went to Indigenous players. And well-deservedly too, like. Yeah, so, good round. I enjoyed it. Matty Drew. Munster for Walker. Thoughts on that? Average run home, and Walker should outscore him.
Munster for Cody Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know about for the run home, but yeah, at the moment, Cody Walker's like the one you should be aiming for, really. Can't really fault you against it. Mind you, Cody Walker has just been on his mad run, and as we know, every year he can sometimes drop off for a little bit, and part of that might be down to Latrell being missing over Origin. So, if anything, I'm probably on for the ride at this point, but I'm hoping he doesn't go back down to 500k with a few lower performances over the next few weeks. I'm hoping he leads that team around the park, because he's one of the elders there now. You know what I mean? Like, he is one of the older heads, and yeah, it's sort of his job to keep that team rolling along.
I do think there might be a slight decrease in his points over this Origin period, but I still think most of the attack from South will be going through him, so there should still definitely be a flow of attacking points he'll be receiving.
Points on offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a question of whether he can capitalise on them and still get the ball out to AJ without, big man like Latrell commanding those defenders and creating the space. Lockie Ilias had a horrible week last week, which I didn't realise. But when I was looking through the pods, he's one of those pod ownership sort of halves. Now, he can go on runs as well, but that's it. If South is going down the left, they're going down the left. If they're going down the right, they're going down the right.
Well, it all stems off the back of the Murray quick play the ball. If you really,
what side of the field he's on,
and just how quick he gets up off the ground. Like they don't hold him down long. He's strong. He's got the quickest play the ball in rugby league, hasn't he?
And then Cook feeds with that as well. You know,
and that's where you basically that's how you start your gun set. Like it's off the back of a Cam Murray, super fast play the ball. Like it's just ridiculous how quick the bloke can get up off the ground.
Yeah.
But so that's another thing they'll be lost. For Souths and for Cody Walker's Arsenal. Like you're missing out on that 1 second play the ball, like bang straight up off the ground. Not many people do it.
And just on Ilias, if I was to bring in Ilias, I'd be bringing him in when Kolomatangi gets back.
Yeah.
Because the Kolomatangi-Ilias combination on that second row, I think the Souths really miss. Having that just solid player in that second row running off Ilias's hip.
What is his time frame, do you know? Or?
It was originally 6 to 8 weeks.
So I reckon Kolomatangi, if he was back, is playing Origin. I mean, probably not now coming back from an injury, but he hasn't been out that long, has he?
Oh, he's been about 4 weeks now.
Yeah. He definitely would have been on the radar.
Yeah, because he's just an absolute weapon. And he gets through the work defensively as well. Whereas I think that might be Olakau'atu's downfall, is it doesn't get as much of the defensive work done.
He must be back soon because the NRL website is saying round 13. So he must be back soon.
He could,
I don't think he's named for this week.
He probably might be an extended,
but it shouldn't be far away if that's the case.
All right, Marca Escalara. Thoughts on Welch, Murray and Holmes to Tohu, Horsburgh and Bird. Jack Bird's poddish.
Sorry, could you repeat that again? Sorry.
Thoughts on Welch, Murray and Holmes to Tohu, Horsburgh and Bird.
Yeah, Bird's a bit of a sneaky pot in there, but yeah, definitely the other two I can go get behind.
Especially while he's playing in the back row, I don't mind Bird. Like he's got to do a bit more work in there. Horsburgh's been chugging along nice. Like the other week, Teddy said Horsburgh. I was like, and he fucking has chugged along very well. He got something the other night. That's why he got a shit scoring. He got Simbin and shit. But
yeah, he did.
Yeah, he still chugged out a nice 50.
Still put out a 62.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's chugging along at all sorts of goodness, old Corey Horsburgh. And Tohu's solid as rock.
Well, Tohu's Tohu.
Yeah, he has got injury.
Bar injury.
Yeah. He's been in and out all year, which is a drama, but he has seemed to go back to back. So you get him for 2 weeks, if that's the sort of play you're looking for. But
just get him for the right 2 weeks.
Yeah. Then Michael McLean. Who would be the better pick out of Penasini or Simonson from the Eels?
Penasini.
Yeah, base work on Penasini's.
Base work, and I think try scoring wise as well. He's just stronger, closer to the line. He gets across that line more often.
Yeah. And then Chris.
He's one I think that he's one that I kind of wish I had in my team at times this season, because he's always just that player that sneaks under the radar. Doesn't do too well, but that gets those average scores. Gets those base stats. When he scores tries, does so well. Same with Tomoko, who's up around 700, I think now. About 711, I think he's at.
Got a 20 last week, 30.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he goes his fall from grace last week. Still averaging 70-something. Then Chris Luch. So you'd say that, Luch?
Yeah.
Chris Luch sent me a question as well. What are we doing with Tuare, for those that own?
Playing him this week.
In the team, he's in the team at 17. He's not named in the starting 13. And does he drop out next week when the hammer comes back, or stays on the bench? I'm actually thinking next week to downgrade to him to pick up the 200k before he makes some money. So, would you downgrade to a Tuare even though he's on the bench?
That's one of my trades this week.
Really?
I'm freeing up the cash. I'm going Croker to Tavade.
Yeah.
And that'll allow me to do a couple of good trades.
Yeah, me and Chris last week were talking. Last week we were talking Paseka or Edwards. Who do you jump on last week? And I think I told him Paseka, and he was like, only because I had Edwards already. I wasn't so sold on Edwards, chugging along at good scores, but Paseka got a 67 and Edwards got a 58 for the 300k difference. So would you look at it like that? Would you rather pocket 300k on snapping up the cheapie and lose 9 points, Or do you go with that solid, solidified guy? Like I did tell him, but Edwards could be gone in 2 weeks. You don't know. If Thompson makes a miracle come back and there's a few things that go wrong for him, whereas Paseka, he's their number one front rower. He's there all year no matter what. Whereas that's what I'm thinking this week to Ware. If you don't have plans on making him enough, you could sort of cruel yourself by bringing in a Tuare and having him at 200 grand, But yeah, if you're bringing him in enough, I see a good world where you do it. Especially if you're not worried if he doesn't play next week or ever play again even. But if you're looking for the money, I don't know if the money's going to come if he backs up this week with a fucking 10 and, another 10 the week after off the bench, not making shit. That 90's irrelevant. So, gamble. I don't know if I bring in a Tuare this week. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying no to Tuare. You?
Yeah, it's only game 2. I wouldn't make a move on him this week unless you need him as enough downgrade.
Louis bringing him in, and are you looking at it with that sort of view?
I don't really care what he scores. I'm bringing him as enough. Generate some cash.
Yeah. Righto. Now, fucking a dude I fully forgot about, guys. And I really shouldn't have because he's in my actual footy side. Davida Pengai Jr.
I must admit I did see him in pod territory, and look at him making the New South Wales squad.
Now, Davida Pengai Jr. making the New South Wales squad. When he comes back after these 3 games at Origin, I strongly suggest you just look at getting him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a changed man.
Just being in camp with some of the greats that they can get in and around camps, I think he should take his game to the next level after this. Freddie's been spruiking him for years, man. Freddie's wanted him to be better for years, and this is his gamble, and I think TVJ's built for Origin, man. I think he's just going to go out there and wreck people.
I hope so. And look, he's had a bit of a temper in the past and stuff, which he needs to figure out how to harness and channel that aggression without being suspended or sin binned. But if he could do that, bro, instant in. Dude's a weapon. I was going to start the year with him until that calf thing. I did start the year with him, I think, and then I ended up having to pull him out because he wasn't coming back long term. Yeah. But I'm very, very keen.
Yeah,
a Pengai Jr. that rips and tears like nothing else. It's fun to watch. It is fun to watch.
He's massive surprise inclusion. Hasn't played much this year for the Dogs. Didn't play overly great last year. Did in patches, but didn't overly impress, if you know what I mean. He did offload machine, which that's what he's known for, but he didn't be that forward we sort of needed him to be. And I think Origin will get that out of him. I think he'll go in there and he'll come back. A near must-have. He should be doing hush shit by the time he comes back from Origin. So put that in your little black book, fellas. Jump on him. He's going to be a good one after Origin. I feel. Anyone else you think that's going to come out of Origin better for it? Like, we know Teddy does every year. Like, he's one of them ones I don't know if I should sell or not. If I do, it's only the drinky, and it'd only be a short-term play. But, yeah. Anyone?
I'm just hoping they all follow, mate.
Yeah. Oh, look, I fucking love it, man. It's going to be great. Like,
can't wait. A week away. Bring it on. I'm absolutely itching for it now. Considering I didn't even know what Origin was a few years ago. Now I just cannot wait. It's the highlight of my year.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it on.
If you want to win a ring, find Con on the WhatsApp. Links in the Facebook thing.
All right. Any more questions? Are we good?
No, that was it, I think. We did have a couple asking where we are. Sorry, dudes. Still my internet. Full responsibility.
Should be back next week, though, on the live. Well, no, not next week, because of Origin. Depends. We've got to work that one out.
We'll
see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll definitely throw you something.
Sneaky captains for the week. Moses, Cody Walker, if you got him. Maybe a Damien Cook. Jermaine Hopgood might be as a VC if you don't have the Parramatta spine. KP if you went balls up on him.
I'm going dual bags.
Ooh, okay, yeah, dual bags.
The bags. Everyone loves the bags. I, at the moment,
Against Cowboys especially.
have the VC on Charles Nickel Clockstone, and I have the captaincy on Greg Marju.
Okay.
Wow, some real field captain choices there.
Who are you going with, Juz?
Bro.
Hey?
I'm going vice captain on Hopgood, captain on Cody Walker.
Cody Walker. Okay. Against the Raiders, yeah. Definitely could.
Oda Marju against a depleted Manly and a stung KP. That's my theory on it. KP loves the left. Marju on the left with no turbo, no cherry. It's a big ask for him. So that's the way I'm looking. Otherwise it'll be Garrick in the same game.
Yeah.
That'd be my other probably captain choice.
Garrick's still on the wing though.
Yeah, but that's just Garrick still does what Garrick does. Like, he's only thrown up shit scores at centre. Like I said, 88 just in basing power. 2 or 3 weeks ago on the wing. And that's just him bringing it back. He has 20 hit-ups a game, breaks a few tackles. Got a couple offloads away last week.
And goal kicking if they don't ask score points.
So, he's got so many positives to his game, Garrick. Like, he's gone from Supercoach strength year to year. Like, his game, Supercoach wise, has just got better and better as years have progressed as well. Like, he's always been good, but he's starting to get to that point where he's a must-have. Like, you're fucking mad not to have the bloke in your side. I think at least not be penned in for your run home.
I think if you didn't jump on him last week, and you don't jump on him this week, it's going to be tough.
Will you be back paying premium?
Yeah, it'll be tough.
Which, in saying that, if you're willing to go sideways, if you got more pressing issues and he's not your guy, then you will be paying more for him later. But yeah, that's sometimes where your sideways trade comes in, like when someone's on the way up, the other's on the way down, and
go for a Val Holmes to Garrick if you can.
Yeah, it's a solid move.
Only 40k difference at the moment, and Garrick's got a break even of 7. So this is the week to jump on.
Yeah. You miss out. He doesn't play next week, which is a downfall.
But I think Garrick, this is a long-term keeper you're looking at.
Yeah, it's the other option I'd be looking at would be someone like Marju, and he doesn't play next week either. So it's 6 to 1, half the other.
And the thing with Garrick is, like we've talked about all night, who's coming back. You know, he's got Cherry coming back from Origin, and he's going to have Turbo coming back from Origin. 2 blokes who's just going to make his game better. You know? They make the club's game better. So, yeah, I think Garrick's a win for everyone there, really.
Yeah.
Get on, Garrick.
All right. I think that's us done and dusted, isn't it?
Peace.
See you next week.
Cheerio.